A Purimspiel on Zoom. Sounds crazy, no? But here at Temple High, every one of us has become an expert on Zoom. At school, at work, with our families, in gatherings. You may ask, why log on if it's all just virtual? Because Temple High is our home, and we want to pray and learn and listen without breaking our necks. You may ask, how did all of this get started? I can tell you in one word. Pandemic.
Pandemic, 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 pandemic.
Because of this pandemic, we have been kept virtual for many, many months. Here at Temple High, the pandemic has changed everything. How we eat, how we sleep, even how we wear our clothes. For instance, we always keep our faces covered, and we always carry a little hand sanitizer. This shows our constant devotion to God and to each other. You may ask, how did this pandemic get started? I'll tell you. I don't know, but it's a pandemic. Because of the pandemic, each of us knows who we are and what God expects us to be.
Who day and night must see to the infected, monitor the patients, say their daily prayers, and who has the right as masters of healing to get a bit of rest at home? The doctors, the doctors. Pandemic. The doctors, the doctors, pandemic. Who must know the way to give a proper shot, a vaccine shot, a Pfizer shot? Who must see the patients and risk their lives so doctors can do their doctor thing? The nurses, the nurses, pandemic. The nurses, pandemic. They said we'll go online at school and kids will learn from home. It's harder than I've ever worked for the kids. It's worth it. The teachers, pandemic. The teachers, pandemic. Who risk their lives all day so you get mail and food. The garbage they collect and keep you safe from harm. The workers on the front line, pandemic. The workers, pandemic.
And in our circle of Temple High, we've always had our special types. Debbie Blyn, our executive director, Amanda, Kaylie, Mary, our youth directors, and most important, our beloved clergy. Among ourselves, we get along very well, most of the time. Of course, everyone has their problems, but this year we rallied together to make sure everyone is taken care of. Now we live in solitude, but we know that there's a community watching out for every one of us.
Pandemic, pandemic. It's Purim, pandemic, pandemic. It's Purim.
Pandemic, pandemic. Within this pandemic, you might even say that our lives are as shaky as a Purimspiel on the roof.
Oh, weird, my slipper came off. Okay. Oh, good evening. Welcome to PNN's Nightly News, the Purim News Network's daily report with news, schmooze, the Oxford comma, and just once a year, booze. I'm your anchor, Cantor Wolfman Blitzer, here with my co-host, Rabbi Ilana Mills. And before we hear the story of Purim, we must chant the blessings. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al mikra Megillah.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim lavoteinu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Amen. Vayehi b'mei Achashveirosh, Achashveirosh, hamolech mehodu v'yad kush. Sheva v'yasrimu me'ah medina bayamim hahem keshevet. Pause. Hamelech Achashveirosh al kisei malchuto asher b'shushan habira bishnat shalosh l'malcho aseh mishtelach Mishteh lechol sarav va'avadav chel. Pause. Parasimadai hapartamim v'sarei habedinot lefanai.
Hello everyone, it's day 475 of 2020. That's right, because of a strange quirk in the lunar calendar trying to get it onto the solar cycle, we have extended 2020, and our king has decided to look into the idea of wearing a mask. To celebrate, he is throwing a party and inviting everyone from all 127 provinces to join.
Oh, this just in, we are getting reports that the king has asked the queen to dance before the crowd wearing no face covering. Let's bring in our royals expert, Debbie Blynder, to comment. Debbie? Debbie, you need to move it closer to your mouth. Oh, wait, that's too close. Wait. Sorry, folks. Even though it's been 11 months, we're still figuring out this technology.
Because the anchors can't be bothered to set up their own technology. Oh, am I on?
Debbie, thanks for joining us. We hear there is drama at the palace. Can you fill us in?
Yes, Wolfman. It is now confirmed that Achashveirosh demanded that Vashti appear before him without a face covering. She issued a two-word response to the king, I dissent, and has now left the palace.
We are getting a live clip of what went down at the palace. Apparently, Vashti shared her message to the king in song.
You keep saying we should all be masking. We all do our best to not get sick. You've been a-breathing where you shouldn't been a-breathing, and you'll end up getting a swift kick. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. You keep hanging while we're quarantining. Well, with our lives, you simply ought to not bet. You keep saying when you ought to be a-changin'. Now what's right is right, but you ain't been right yet. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. You keep saying the vaccine you'll be getting, and you keep acting like soon you'll get the shot. Ha! I just found me appointment out in Glendale. Yeah! I'm out of here and you, sir, get jack squat. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Are you ready, boots? Start walking!
We are now reading reports that the king does not want the news about Vashti publicized because he believes that women may stop obeying their husbands. Could you comment about that, Debbie?
Obey their husbands? Oh my goodness, obey their husbands. That is a good one. I cannot stop laughing. Back to you, Maury.
PNN sources have learned that King Achashveirosh will be deciding the next queen by election, and all 127 provinces will weigh in with their electoral votes. But first, apparently there's a beauty pageant. That's right, you heard me, a beauty pageant. Heck, it's 2020. Why not dial the clock back a few decades on the gains made by feminism? The next thing you'll know, we'll be marching for the same causes my grandparents fought for. You know, racial equality, respect for all religions. Never mind. Our correspondent, Kaylie Couric, is going to tell us about this year's spring fashions. Kaylie?
No, you go.
Okay,
Okay.
Sorry, folks. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We've only been doing this for, 11 months.
Thanks, Jordana. This is a very exciting day here at Shushan Square Gardens. Achashveirosh is here, and he is prepared to appoint a new queen based on what he sees today. Contestants have been asked to bring out their finest COVID wear designed especially for this season.
Kaylie, could you take us through some of the highlights?
Absolutely.
This look, brought to us by Giorgio Armani, was incredibly popular this year. Armani calls it the pandemic half suit. You'll notice the 100% cotton t-shirt and stretchy leggings. Truly, fashionistas all over the world are creating their own versions of the half suit this year. Donatella Versace introduced us to this next look. Originally seen in boutiques in Paris, it is now truly ubiquitous. Versace calls it PPP, no, PPE? Sorry, Personal Protective Pandemic Ponderous Purses, something like that. Anyway, critics have noted that it is nothing more than a classic hazmat suit, but that has not stopped its popularity. Our adult B'nai Mitzvah class is modeling the final fashion trend of the day, which was brought to us as a collaboration of a small group of Jewish designers. The designers are Kenneth Cole, Marc Jacobs, Donna Karen, Calvin Kleinberg, Michael Korsovich, Ralph Lauren, Isaac Mizrahi, and Diane von Furstenberg. Fun fact, all Jewish. They put their heads together to create this terrific look. The concept is all about comfort. They created a line of stretch pants, t-shirts, and sweatsuits that can be worn while working at home, working out, sleeping, eating, and more. The genius behind this collection is that each piece can be worn for up to 7 days straight. You don't need to change a single item until your spouse or partner threatens to leave unless you take a shower. You can see why this line has dominated the market.
Thank you very much, Kaylie. And now we go to our special election coverage with Dylan and Zac Kornacki. Fellas, we're at the edge of our chairs. What do you have for us?
Thank you, Cantor and Rabbi. We have been talking with election districts and following the tweets. Tina Sakowitz and Hadassah Esther have been out campaigning all day. We saw that video earlier of both Hadassah Esther and Tina Sakowitz casting their own ballots at their home polling places earlier. And now our producer is actually telling us that the race is so close, we can expect that polling places are going to have lines up to a mile long for much of the evening across the empire.
That's right, Dylan. So folks at home, get those DoorDash orders placed. You're going to be up with us for quite a while, and we expect to be here for a while. We are spread across 5 different time zones in this empire, and it is a very close race. So the first closures have already happened in the eastern part of the empire, and you can see that Sakowitz has already turned it purple for the party of the prince, her party. They seem to have taken a very sharp lead, but we think that Esther might break things open if we do call it for Judea and Samaria right over here. And if she gets Ethiopia, folks, we don't know what that's going to tell us. It could break things wide open.
Now, Zach, why don't we take a look over here at this board. We've got the actual numbers, the projections so far that are being called by PNN. As you can see, that Esther is still about 50 points under Sakowitz. And she needs 50 electoral votes to reach that 270 and turn this election green for the vegan party.
But before you count Esther out, please understand that, you know, the peasant farmer population in Armenia could get her, you know, many of the votes that she actually needs, especially if she also gets those in the Nile River Basin. So it's definitely not over for Esther. Do not count her out yet.
And I do want to just make sure to be clear. It's not that Esther is 50 points under Sakowitz. She's actually 35 points under Sakowitz, but 50 points away from that 270. And it's still anybody's... Hold on, folks. I'm just hearing from my producer right now. Okay, it looks like the merchants of Damascus have secured enough camels to bring the people to the polls. And now we can say that Assyria is going the way of the vegan party. It looks like we can safely call Assyria for Hadassah Esther.
Let's update those vote totals up here now. She is getting close, folks.
That was 19 votes, by the way, just with Assyria alone. And it looks like Esther is now only trailing by 16.
Man, if she's only trailing by 16 and she can secure the populous Ethiopia and fend off Egyptian domination, this might actually be a done deal for Queen Esther, folks.
But with so many people still at the polls, it might be a while before we can... Okay, Zach, we just got another update from our producer, and with 2% reporting, Esther is actually projected to win Ethiopia.
Well, they called her the queen when she was in high school and college. I refer to her as Queen Esther right now and talk about that being a good prediction on my part. Esther is going to be the new Queen of Shushan. You heard it here first on PNN.
Oh, wait. They just called Egypt too, which further secures her lead and PNN's ability to call this race with Esther, Hadassah Esther, the new Queen of Shushan.
Can we get a yes, Queen? Absolutely. This has been election coverage with Zac Kornacki and Dylan Kornacki. We thank you for joining us, and back to you, Rabbi.
And despite what many might think, there was no editorializing here, we promise.
Well, folks, we are here now live with Hadassah Esther, the winner of Shushan's election. Queen Esther, you've won the beauty pageant, the election, and now you're married to our magnificent king. What do you have to say?
If I'm going to be married to this guy, I'm going to need extra protection.
Folks, you're watching PNN, the Purim News Network. We're bringing you live updates during this action-packed Adar. What an exciting time. A new queen, election maps, both Dylan and Zach Kornacki. The breaking news just keeps coming. In fact, I'm getting reports right now there is now unrest at the palace. Let's go to our chief palace correspondent, Rabbi Bonnie Koppel, for the latest.
Did someone say Koppel? Head Koppel has some serious hair.
Rabbi, please tell us about the situation in the palace.
Rabbi Chernow Reader, two of the king's eunuchs, Bigtana and Teresh, have uncovered a plot to kill the king. And we have breaking footage of that discovery.
In the morning we wake up and guard the palace. We are so bored. We are so bored. Look around, there is no army here to get us. Just please the Lord. Just please the Lord. Perhaps we could do something really nasty to the king. To the king. A big ransom they would pay, and our pockets would really sing. Would really sing. Get him, we'll kidnap the king. Get him to our hideout we will bring. Send a letter to the palace and the ransom with the ring. Our problems will be gone when we go and get the king. Get him, we'll kidnap the king. Get him to our hideout we will bring. Send a letter to the palace and the ransom with the ring. Our problems will be gone when we go and get the king.
Rabbi, can you tell us how this evidence was discovered?
Yes, I can. Apparently, the palace guards meant to send it as an attachment to their fraternity brother Mordechai, morty@beer.com, and instead they sent it to morty@neverbowdowntoanyone.com. It's an easy mistake to make. Anyway, I've got the king right here, and he's going to tell us about it himself.
It was terrible to find out about the plot. Worse than when the grocery stores ran out of Clorox wipes. Worse than when Cox stopped my internet service. You know what happened? I missed half of the Schitt's Creek last season. Even the piss boy was upset and out of sorts. I don't know what...
Okay, we've heard that you're also making a change in leadership at the palace. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, yes. You may remember my former health advisor. He was accused of hoarding COVID test kits. The second he quit, I told him he was fired. Swift and severe, that's me.
Okay, and you have someone in mind to replace him?
Of course I do. Let me check my resume file. Let's see here. My son-in-law? No. My former golf caddy? I don't think so. My kid's nanny? No, not quite right. Oh, who's this lady? Her resume shows years of sales experience and, wow, she's the third cousin twice removed of a former Reiki doctor. Oh, she sounds perfect. My fellow Shushaninians, I am pleased as your king to announce my new health advisor, Haman.
Boo! Boo!
Achar hadivarim ha'ele gida hamelch Achashveirosh et Haman ben hamdata agagi vayinasehu vayasem et kiso me'al kasharim asher ito v'chovdei hamelech asher bashar hamelech koreim u'mishtachavim lehaman ki chen tziva lo hamelech u'Mordechai lo yikra v'lo yishtachaveh vayomeru avdei hamelech asher basar hamelech leMordechai. Madua ata over et mitzvat hamelech.
Loyal subjects of Shushan, I am happy to introduce my new health minister, who has prepared this video message to help everyone cope with this pandemic.
I've got a feeling that you could be feeling a whole lot better than you feel today. If masking is a problem, well, that's no problem. I've got an idea to make it go away. When you're having trouble breathing because of that thing on your face, be strong, be bold. It's a big disgrace. Take it off, free your skin, and join the band. It's Haman's rule and demand. We have had enough when your liberty is being infringed upon. You'll feel so much better when that thing is gone. And take it off, say goodbye to the mask, and it's gone. You're free from dawn to dawn. Take it off. Take it off.
PNN is bringing you Persia's new health advisor live in person. Haman. Are you there?
Why, yes. Yes, I am here. I am your new minister, and I am going to get you through this hoax. I mean, this pandemic, this terrible pandemic. Here at my company's Haman Zone, we have been doing research, and things look very promising. We have all sorts of highly respected Scientological types that are coming up with things for you to try at home. Because, you know, who needs anybody who has some fancy letters at the end of their name, like MD, PhD? Get a real life. So this is what we really want you to do. You're going to take Haman's Zone, Vitaminavagic, which is actually ibuprofen, and you're going to drink it. That's all you have to do. It comes in 3 flavors: raspberry, blueberry, and my favorite, schnozberry. Also, Haman's Own has also discovered all sorts of other remedies that can actually promote muscle mass and weight loss and make you an utterly fabulous person like me. For instance, and this is going to sound crazy, but what you need to do is whisper Hungarian prayers at your sourdough starter. Pretty crazy, right? But order now, and Haman's Own will send that book of super secrets straight to your door. Now, another thing you should try is using your air fryer to actually do your own coffee beans. And my third favorite thing is that what we need to do is
all right, would somebody mute this lady?
And we're going to do like...
All right, hold on. We've heard enough. Time for a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
You know Joe, he's fitting in pretty well here, but he always likes to say, this one time at Temple High, or at Temple High they always did it that way. What's with him in Temple High?
He's always talking about Temple High, like one time at Temple High we did this, or this is the way they would do it at Temple High, or he just makes up ridiculous stories about Temple High.
I wonder what Joe is really drinking in his coffee cup.
You know, the one thing I'm a little concerned about is it's always like, oh, in New York we did this, and in Arizona we did that, you know, back in Wisconsin we were doing this. I'm a little worried.
I mean, this guy Joe Miller, for months, he called me Mari. Has he seen my climbing shoes? They're huge! Hers are tiny! And then he calls me Bonnie!
It's bizarre. One moment Joe is present and focused in staff meeting, and the next he's calling out to his dogs because there are coyotes in the street. Sometimes he asks if anyone wants takeout from Eaton's Grill. We've never heard of this place. Joe says Temple High is so good to them and their food is great. I wonder if he's disconnected from reality.
Yeah, Arizona. Arizona all the way. For sure. I've been living in Virginia for 20 months now? And whenever I watch television, I only watch Arizona television. Yeah, local news. You can't beat it. Arizona, man, it's awesome. God, I miss it.
We're back with PNN's Nightly News. Our correspondent, Amanda Progresso, is standing by at the Palace Gate. Amanda, what's going on?
Hi, thank you. I'm right outside a press conference being held by Mordechai the Jew. Apparently, he proposed a somewhat radical solution to the problem we are all facing. And, oh, here he is now. Mordechai, excuse me. Do you have a moment to talk?
For you, of course.
Thank you. Is there a reason you're rushing out of the conference?
Well, everything in the conference was going okay, but then this one gal hated my idea. She stood up and she started shouting. So I started shouting back at her. I don't know what her problem was. She kept escalating it and escalating the problem from there.
Well, Mordechai, what was the radical solution that you suggested?
I just told the people that they need to wear masks the right way, not falling down over your face, covering your nose during this pandemic.
I can see why that may have been so upsetting for her. What happened next?
Well, I told the people that they need to wear their masks. And that lady, I think her name was Haman. She demanded that I bow down to her there, on the spot. Well, of course, I refused, and she started running after me with a selfie stick. It was completely Miss Sugar. Here she comes now.
Oh, excuse me, Haman, madam, excuse me.
What do you want? What do you want?
Can I stop you for 1 second?
Oh, I guess so.
You look very upset.
I am very upset.
What's going on?
Well, that Jew keeps spewing all this nonsense about wearing masks during a pandemic, and if he continues doing that, nobody's gonna buy Haman's own products. And if they stop buying my products, then Villainous Limited Holdings, our parent company, is going to go bankrupt, and nobody wants that. And if that happens, the shareholders are going to want my head on the gallows, which is actually being built right outside. So I'm gonna be toast.
Oh, toast.
Okay, wait. I think I have an idea.
What is it? Are you coming up with an evil, maniacal plan?
Yes, I'm coming up with an evil, maniacal plan. I've got the king wrapped around my finger, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get his authority to infect Mordechai. And you know what? I'm not gonna stop there. I'm gonna infect all the Jews. You know what? The only question is, when am I gonna do it? I think I need to cast lots, or Purim, to decide when. So, I wish I had some sort of calendar in order to figure out what the...
I happen to have popsicle sticks right here with dates on them.
Oh, that's perfect.
Let's just choose one.
Oh, I love that idea. Let's see. Rosh Hashanah. You know what? It's too hot at Rosh Hashanah. Oh, let's see. The 10th of April, that's the gala. We hope you'll come. That's not gonna work. Okay, third Thursday in November. I think that's already taken. Let's see. Super Bowl Sunday? No, we all want to watch the commercials, right? Aha, this is it. The 13th day of Adar. Yes, The 13th day of Adar is the day that we are going to kill all the Jews. It is what it is. Okay, so Charlie, can you set up... Charlie, can you set up a press conference at the Royal Palace Stat? I need to check it with the boss man, but I think that the 13th of Adar is going to be the day we're going to kill all the Jews.
All right. Very much, Miss Progresso, for that enlightening report. Press Secretary Jen Psaki has just announced, well, Jen, there she is. That's an awfully original look. Straightened red hair, blue top. Maybe you could get your own stylist. Anyway, Press Secretary Jen Psaki has just announced that due to the recent surge in cases, the entire kingdom will be going on lockdown beginning tonight at 8 p.m. That's right, folks, we're hunkering down again. Time to stock up on puzzles, yeast, and toilet paper, but don't mix those two up. Get ready for some QT with the family. Here we go.
Hello, iPad, my old friend. I've come to Zoom with you again because a vision softly beeping my alarm for weekly staff meeting and the vision of our team all working from home, all alone, within the sound of lockdown. The restless meals I cook alone, the Instapot I still bemoan. Food was better back at summer camp. The stuff at home just turns out cold and damp. When my tongue was stabbed by the taste of leftover fish inside Knish. It is the taste of lockdown, and in the bright blue light I saw 10,000 movies, maybe more. Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, and sports, all the content that my kids adore. I saw Tiger King, then Queen's Gambit and Black Bear, and no one dared disturb the shows of lockdown. Fool, said I, you do not know. This election's not a show. Pay attention to the things you see. Get involved, you better call DC. But my words, like silent raindrops, fell and echoed in the wells of lockdown. And the people prayed at night to Adonai through Temple High. The name mitzvah went online to stream. This must be a real crazy dream. And the rabbi said the words of the prophets are written on the cactus arm. It means no harm. And whispered in the sound of lockdown.
Welcome back. It appears that Haman the king's advisor is holding a press conference. Let's hear what he has to say.
By order of the king, we have declared that the 13th day of the Hebrew month of Adar is going to be the day where we destroy all the Jews. It doesn't matter how. It's not going to make too much of a mess. And please remember that if you go to Haman's Own and order anything, we will give you 13% off. That's right. It's amazing.
Welcome back to another hour of PNN coverage at the palace again. Let's go back to Debbie Blynder on our Queen Esther cam. Debbie, what's going on now?
Well, Cantor Wolfman Blitzer, it appears the Queen's cousin Mordechai is sitting in front of the palace in sackcloth and ashes. The scene is quite ugly. He's wearing last year's fashion, men, and it's not looking good. Word is that he's upset about the king's new edict to kill all of the Jews on the 13th of Adar.
Well, here at PNN, we do frown on genocide. What else is going on?
My source inside the palace has informed me that the Queen is fasting and will not leave her room. She's been in there for 3 days. That's right, she's doing the vegan challenge.
Vayomer la hamelech malach Esther hamalka uma bakashatech ad chatzi hamalchut vainaten lach vatomer Esther imal hamelech tov yavo hamelech vehaman Hayom al hamishte asher asiti lo Vayomer hamelech maharu et Haman lasod et devar Esther Vayavo hamelech vehaman el hamishte asher asta Esther.
Thanks, Debbie. I'm getting word from Rabbi Koppel that there's a development with the king.
Thank you, Rabbi Mills. I understand from the king's spokesperson that Queen Esther has invited Haman to join her for a socially distanced, masks-required banquet in the palace courtyard.
Coverage of the royal banquet continues as we have learned that Queen Esther has wrapped things up and is now asking if the king and Haman will join her for a second banquet. We will still be here for round-the-clock coverage.
Hi, I'm Dr. Melissa Redleaf. I am the #1 fan of the Temple High Senior Rabbi Search Committee. I have our surveys here, and I have been going through them. Thank you for filling out your survey. Based on your feedback, I will give you some information about the absolute requirements we have for Senior Rabbi. So #1, the individual must be wise beyond their years, but young and excited about innovation and technology. They should be comfortable playing on the floor with the children of our ECC while being scholarly and deeply connected with our seniors. They should be equally comfortable sharing stories about baby Moses, as well as baby Shark and baby Yoda. Should a problem arise, the rabbi should lead with strength and decisive action, while also being open to feedback and criticism. The congregation wants a rabbi who can talk sports with one breath and fashion with the other. Knowledge of hiking trails and Broadway musicals is definitely a plus. A go-getter, somebody who arrives early to work and is willing to burn the midnight olive oil to get the job done. All while simultaneously setting an example of healthy work-life balance. The rabbi should absolutely not take a vacation to Shushan during Purim. While physical appearance is inconsequential, a rabbi who stands about 5'1" and has 3 children would be ideal. Thank you for your attention. Enjoy the rest of the show.
The second banquet is about to begin and the guests are arriving red carpet style. Let's go back to Kaylie Couric, our fashion reporter. Kaylie, who's everyone wearing?
Hello, I'm here with Haman.
Whoa.
Who looks evil as ever. Haman, who are you wearing?
I am wearing Dalmatian fur from DeVille's on 35th Avenue. Isn't it fabulous?
Let's take a peek inside the banquet now. It appears that the Queen has put on her royalty and has prepared a statement for the press.
I am grateful for everyone for joining me tonight. Is Haman here?
Whoa!
Good. I wanted to share my displeasure with the plot to kill all the Jews.
Wait, are you talking to that Jew, the Mordechai guy? I don't understand.
Haman. Excuse me, I'm speaking. And get your butt 6 feet away from me, you scumbag. I'm addressing the kingdom because not only is it wrong to kill the Jewish people, but I want to tell the world that I, myself, am Jewish. And it would mean the end for me as well.
Oh no, what will we do? Haman!
Boo! Is that good?
This is all your fault. Take him away at once and hang him on the gallows that he built for Mordechai.
Ushushan habira hargu hayudim v'abed chamesh meot ish v'ya pasha data v'ya dalfan v'ya asparta v'ya parata v'ya adalia v'ya data v'ya parmashta v'ya arisa v'ya arida v'ya v'izata aseret b'nei Haman ben Hamadata Sorer Hayudim Halagu Uva Biza Lo Shachu Et Yadam.
Loyal subjects of Shushan, from here on out, we will have no more talk of killing anyone. Let's just eat, drink, and be merry. Is that so hard? Where's Mordechai? Mordechai, in gratitude for your service and your skill, I make you my new health advisor. And by the way, go and get me some more of that chicken tuna, that chickpea tuna. This vegan challenge is really amazing.
And so on the 13th of Adar, the Jews defended themselves against marauders who would have killed them. And the 14th of Adar was established as a holiday for all. It became known as Purim, after the lots that were cast.
And for thousands of years, the Jewish people has celebrated Purim, sometimes even in person.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam harav et rivenu v'hadan et dinenu v'hanifra lanu mikol tzareinu Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'moshiach. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been PNN coverage of the story of Esther. Thanks so much for joining us. Good night. Pandemic, 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 pandemic. Who day and night must see to the infected, monitor the patients, say their daily prayers, and who has the right, as masters of healing, to get a bit of rest at home? The doctors, the doctors. Pandemic, the doctors, the doctors. Pandemic. Who must know the way to give a proper shot, a vaccine shot, a Pfizer shot? Who must see the patients and risk their lives so doctors can do their doctor thing? The nurses, the nurses. Pandemic,